Good afternoon. Welcome back to Passion World Talk Radio Network. PWTRN is a wholly owned subsidiary of Global Media Network LLC. Educate, enlighten, entertain. And on today's episode, we are talking about identity theft and how to protect yourself. One of the first things that's recommended is to go find a qualified financial advisor. And you need to look them up on SMART, SMART Assets, ASSET, and they provide you with a free tool that will match you up with 3 fiduciary financial advisors that serve in your area. These advisors have been vetted by Smart Assets and are held to a fiduciary standard to act in your best interests. While anybody can benefit from identity protection, prior victims are especially at risk of identity theft. How do I know that? Because back in the 1970s, when I was working for a lawyer, my identity was stolen and I was contacted by the fraudsters, the scammers who were in charge, and they tried to force me to pay a significant amount of money. And when I looked at the charge, I realized that I didn't have that type of money to spend. So I took it to the lawyer who I was then working for, and he contacted the attorney general, and they took out the gang. But it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't initiated some kind of action. So in the 21st century, things are a little bit different. And the first thing you need to do is contact a qualified financial advisor by using SMART, capital S, M-A-R-T, capital A, S-S-E-T-S, one word. Put it in Google, and it will provide you with 3 fiduciary approved financial advisors in your area, wherever you live in the United States. Also, choose identity theft protection services that offer preventive measures and recovery features. And you can also protect your own identity by requesting free weekly credit reports from the credit bureaus. Again, when Experian, which is a large credit reporting company, was breached, my Social Security with personal information was breached. And every week now, in addition to Experian and to the 2 other places, TransUnion and Equifax, and yes, my Discover card, they let me know where my Social Security is. And my Social Security number has not yet shown up on the dark or black web. And my information, though it is floating around, is in nobody's hands at the moment to do me damage. And you need to know this. According to a study from Javelin Strategy and Research, 40 million consumers in the U.S. experienced identity theft in 2021, with about $52 million that was stolen. That's a lot of money that you could probably use for other things. With the threat of fraud looming, it's important to find ways to reduce the risk of identity theft. While you can take small steps to limit the amount of your personal information that's publicly available, you can also sign up for an identity theft protection services. These services will protect your identity with cybersecurity measures, monitor your identity for signs of fraud, and help you recover your identity if it's stolen. Choosing the best identity theft protection service can be daunting, but it's a necessary task. Here's how to get identity protection and what to look for in an identity protection service. So your first question is, when do you sign up for identity protection service? Anyone who has something in cyberspace worth taking should consider identity theft protection, and everyone should think of what's worth taking expansively, says Kirk Sanger, a cybersecurity expert at Batten Safe and the former Deputy General Counsel for U.S. Cyber Command. Bank accounts, credit cards, and other obvious targets are important to protect. You should also be cognizant of parts of your identity that aren't as clearly monetizable. Stealing passwords to withdraw money has tangible results, but an imposter's use of someone's cyber personal to post or send messages can impact personal and professional reputations, Sanger says. While everyone can benefit from extra layers of identity protection, certain people are at a higher risk. If you've ever been the victim of identity theft in the past, you're far more likely to be targeted than someone who hasn't. Word to the wise. If you have children, an identity theft protection service with a family plan, because you're minor children, their identity can also be stolen. A family plan like Identi IQ, which is capital IDENTITY, capital L, capital Q, or additional features to prevent child identity theft that can be useful. So how do you get it? There are numerous factors that go into choosing an identity service. The big factor is cost. Michael Schumack, a security expert and chief innovation officer of Identity LQ, recommends looking for discounts or deals if you set up auto pay or pay annually instead of monthly. In some cases, you might even be able to sign up for a low cost or free trial and test out the service for yourself. Now, the amount of protection you need varies depending on how much you have to protect. If you're a likely target, meaning that you've already been your identity stolen once due to your job or assets, then you might want to consider something more substantial, which means it might be more expensive, that offers bespoke services, explains Sanger. Otherwise, you might want more basic, though still robust protection. With that in mind, this is what you need to know when comparing identity theft protection services. So, signs of a good identity theft protection service. What you need from identity theft protection service varies based on your assets and needs, but the basics are uniform. Here are the factors to consider. 1, clear, comprehensive services. You want to know what the company will do, how it will help you, and how quickly you'll find out if something goes wrong. Dr. Rebecca Morris, founder of the online magazine Safe, Not Scammed, and a cyber security educator with a PhD in logic, computation, and methodology, recommends choosing a service that monitors the following services: Social Security number, court records, sex offender registry, the dark web. Ensure the plan provides timely alerts and notifications regarding possible suspicious activity, she adds. 2, responds in real time. You want immediate alerts. You also want an actual person available if one of those alerts is problematic. Real-time responses by actual representatives, not pre-programmed responses or chatbot, is a great sign because that's what you want if you suspect your identity has been stolen, Sanger says. Ideally, you have an expert who is specifically dedicated to your case as opposed to a general hotline for your questions. 3, offers prevention tools. Identity theft protection services often highlight what they'll do to alert or help you if there's an incident. But what about stopping it in the first place? The goal of identity theft prevention is to prevent the need for restoration support. So understanding prevention tools is critical, says Sanger. At the very least, they should give you guidance on securing your assets and internet presence, though actionable steps are even better. 4, monitors all 3 major credit bureaus. 3 main credit bureaus are responsible for keeping a record of your credit history and documenting any changes, but they don't alert you to those changes. Some companies only monitor 1 credit bureau in real time, says Schumack. Fraud may not show up on all of your credit reports right away, so an option that monitors all three of the major bureaus is essential. If you're regularly checking your credit card reports, skipping this will make your identity theft protection cheaper, explains Morris. However, without immediate alerts, the information could go unnoticed for extended periods of time. So what are the red flags for identity theft protection services? 1, there's no clear outline of solutions. The last thing you want from the company you're paying for identity theft protection is a lot of talking in circles. You want to look for concrete information on services within the fine print of a company's website, looking for details on support in the case of identity theft and costs. Are the explanations clear? What do you do first? And who do you contact first if you suspect an incident? Will the service pay in advance to help restore your identity or reimburse you after you have paid? Can coverage extend to family or other household members? Sanger says if it doesn't answer these questions, then it's time to look elsewhere. 2, they're unreachable. The last thing you want to do when dealing with a stolen identity is wait on hold for 3 hours listening to jazz music, or worse, have to wait for an email response. Sanger explained further, if you struggle to get in touch with the company from the get-go, it's not going to be any better when you really need their help. 3, your service only monitors one credit bureau. If you're really checking your credit reports regularly, then you can ignore this. I check mine regularly, and I check my charges when my statement comes online to look for charges I do not recognize. If you do not recognize them, either call up that company directly or call up your credit card company and say you want to enter a dispute, and then tell them why, and they will look it up and they'll let you know what the result is. Don't wait around. The longer you wait, the worse it becomes. Getting real-time alerts that someone has taken a loan in your name or signed up for a credit card can help you stop identity theft in its tracks. Similarly, you want to be getting these notifications. 4, the company has few or mostly negative reviews. When I go looking for a product or service, the first thing I do is look at all the reviews, the 5s, the 4s, and the 3s. And if you find a lot of 2s and 1s, just leave and go find something else because you don't want to even go there. You don't want to have to spend lots of money either or waste your money on a service that's not going to provide. So take the time to look at the reviews and make sure there's a good amount before signing up, says Morris. Look out for services with a slew of reviews. Now, what are some of the frequently asked questions? Number 1, what is the best identity theft protection service? Of the companies listed in our guide on the best identity theft protection services, Identity Force Ultra Secure is rated the highest, with comprehensive cybersecurity measures, family plans, and tri-bureau monitoring. See how we write identity theft protections there. How much does identity theft protection cost? Monthly prices among our choices for the best identity theft protection services range between $8.99 to $29.99. And maybe you're wondering how you can get free identity protections. Consumers, that's you and I, can access a free credit report every week from each of the 3 credit bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. You can also find some free identity theft resources. Among the services included our guide on the best credit monitoring services. And to get all this additional information, read the original article on Business, BUSINESS, space Insider, capital INSIDER, and you should be able to find all the information necessary to protect you from identity theft. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you got some information from this, and take a look for the tips that will protect you. You don't want to wait and find out about the stuff after it happens. Take your precautions now and set yourself up, and also protect your children, because a lot of these scammers can also go to gravestones and take the names off as children under the age of 18 and use their name and secure their social security number. And all of a sudden you may find yourself owing $500,000 or $600,000 from your child who has been dead for the past 3 or 4 years. So please do something about it. Become involved, be responsible, and be held accountable for protecting yourself. You can listen to this program all over again by going over to youtube.com/at Passionate World Radio. You can also go over to https://passionateworldtalkradio.com/blog and find the audio there. On facebook.com/Passionate World Radio, linkedin.com/Lillian Cauldwell, on all the major social media outlets, audio as well as video. Scam DamNation is brought to you by 2 companies, 2 programs. The first one is MyFlex. Go over to https:// MyFlex, MyFlex.ai/ESC73. Ruby AI is approachable, innovative, and it gets the job done the first time. You do not have to go all over the internet looking for all the additional parts and pieces. You get what you paid for. Sign up, text me, 484-364-1032. Sign up for a demo with your pain point, and I will give you a sample of what that pain point can be solved by Ruby AI. And also the podcasting obstacle training course. Go over to https:// education.passionateworldtalkradio.com/masterclass. Sign up for an 8-week course, 1 hour, Monday through Friday, interactive. Get that certificate, whether you're a middle school, high school, college, university, junior college, charter school, private school, military, beginner, intermediate, expert, and learn how not only you can produce and create, but how to earn money while you're learning and actually doing. Thank you very much for joining us, and remember, keep listening. Have a good week.